Welcome back to Class Problems, guys. Kai over here, and in this video we're going to talk about the guns used in the movie Ballerina. The movie just came out about a month ago, June 6, 2025, and it is pretty freaking awesome. It is from the John Wick franchise. And with that being said, if we're talking about John Wick, I have to call an expert, and that is John over here. He's the John Wick.
Hence the name.
Yeah, there it is. And John is seriously an expert when it comes to these movies, a Ballerina, basically anything that involves terror and tactical innovations stuff, right?
I credit the John Wick movies with me even still having a job here. They got me so much into the gun industry. Like I liked guns when I started working here, but when I first started watching the John Wick movies, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I want to know everything about every gun in these movies, and now I've amassed quite the repertoire of knowledge.
Yeah. Anytime we talk about these like guns used in these movies, we always call John. So, with that being said, we're gonna basically talk about all these guns, but I have to give you guys a disclaimer. As you know, the content you're about to see may contain some copyrighted stuff or trademarked images or videos, and we are not in any way affiliated by Thunder Road Films, Summit Entertainment, or Lionsgate. We just want to dive deep for a chance for him for the first time and talk about guns in this case. So with that being said, John, what is our number 5?
Our number 5 is the Benelli M2.
Now, I want to go ahead and thank my friend Taryn Butler over at Taryn Tactical Innovations for sending these guns to make this video for you guys, and obviously TTI Benelli M2 here. So what do you think, man? Tell me about the scenes.
I love it. So before I talk about the scenes, one thing that I want to give a little history on this gun itself. So if you notice, this is a Benelli M2. However, it's also very similar to a Benelli M4, hence, you know, the pistol grip. And so the way—
Wait, was this made in Turkey? Well, not a Turkish gun?
I don't think it's a Turkish gun.
That's Italian.
Might be.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really like about it, so in John Wick 2, if anyone does remember, he used a Benelli M4 in the catacomb shootout scene for the whole 3-gun setup. And then in the sequel to that, John Wick 3, he used a Benelli M2 for the entire Continental scene. So I think it's kind of cool that in the spin-off of John Wick, they kind of took the 2 shotguns used in the second and third movies and kind of turned them into this beauty here, which was used by Norman Reedus during the Continental shootout scene in Ballerina.
See, that's what I'm saying. Look at the expert. He's just telling me all that stuff. I watched the movie too. I don't know any of this stuff. I just watched it. Plus, I was busy. But anyways, and so we're going to talk about this gun's history right here. Benelli M2. You know, the M1, M2, M3 inertia-operated shotgun system right here, semi-automatic. Back in the 1980s, basically, it was designed, used for tactical purposes. You know, law enforcement, militaries and law enforcement agencies around the country, around the world actually, and also competition shooters, you know, trap and skeet shooters. Pretty freaking awesome weapon system. And the Benelli company improved upon this and went to the Benelli M4, which the Marine Corps adopted. As you talked about, John Wick used it. Now that's a gas-operated system. Pretty freaking fantastic shotgun. Huge reputation by Benelli.
I would agree.
So with that being said, let's talk about our number 4. And number 4 is going to be what?
The Glock 43X. Now we have a Glock 43 with us and a 43X just so we can kind of show off both variations of these 2 pistols. Now the reason I like the Glock 43X so much in this movie is this was probably one of the first guns that she started using once she got out of the Ruska Roma training facility. She's in the nightclub doing the whole shootout scene. I think the Glock 43X is a phenomenal pistol. It's an awesome platform. And like Kaya says all the time, anytime Taryn does get his hand on any type of gun, magic happens there. It is absolutely incredible, and probably the coolest part about the 43X that was used in the movie is actually a 3D printed grip module or variation for the 43X, and so it's just a really, really cool pistol. She's absolutely slaying out with that thing in the nightclub. Awesome scene overall.
Wow, that's pretty cool, and you're right, with the Terran Tacticals touches on it, barrel, slides, and the stippling pattern, all of that stuff, the sights, even the trigger, right?
Trigger shoe, actually.
Trigger shoe, exactly. So it is a phenomenal gun, in my opinion. One of the best carry guns out there. So in the movie, obviously, she's showing that, hey, you know what? It's getting the job done. So Glock 43X, our number 4. Let's move on to number 3. And number 3 is going to be what, John?
It's the Viper, not to be confused with the Pit Viper.
Or Sand Viper?
Or the Sand Viper, you're correct.
but I do have a Sand Viper right here.
We do.
Now this is from the Accountant 2. If you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. If you haven't seen that movie, oh my God, definitely check it out. Exactly as portrayed in that movie. Tenor Tactical Innovations, Sand Viper with the Trijicon RMR, and obviously Streamlight light up there. This is not the exact gun, but John, have at it, man.
So yeah, like I said, it's not the exact model. It's very similar. Really the only difference between the Pit Viper and the Sand Viper, which we will get into the Viper. However, the only difference between these two is the Sand Viper is actually cut for a dot, whereas the Pit Viper is not, and it's just a different color. So the Viper itself that was used in the Ballerina movie, which was actually used by John Wick whenever he is brought in here, spoilers, he's brought into the scene of the movie to take care of Eve, and he's actually using the Viper. And the difference between that and the Pit Viper, it's a 4.4-inch barrel instead of a 5-inch barrel, and it doesn't have the built-in compensator on the slide, nor does it have the same type of carry magwell. So I'm assuming it's more of your like
carry gun
CCW style 2011, but John Wick or Keanu Reeves absolutely puts in work with this thing in the movie. Probably my favorite scenes in the movie were with John Wick and the Viper, just because I haven't seen John Wick in action since John Wick 4. I'm really hoping for a 5th one, but
I think it's gonna have to come out. Yeah,
wait,
are you able to air rack that one?
I don't know. I'm not really good at air racking. We can try.
You can do it.
Oh, look at that.
First try.
Beautiful.
Damn, that's great. It's awesome. I love it. So guys, number 3, the Viper. In my case, the Sand Viper. Let's move over to number 2. And number 2 is going to be, John?
This is the V7 Harbinger by TTI.
Exactly. Another Tenor Tactical gun over here featured in the movie. This is incredible. For a Chamberlain 72x51 or 308, shoots extremely flat with this pin and welded 4-chamber brake. It is loud.
Yes.
It is concussive, but it is extremely flat shooting. Awesome and super light. This is like really, it's got a bipod on there, and also Trijicon 1-6 AccuPoint here with a Trijicon RMR at basically 45 degree right here. It is extremely easy for transition. So I'm on the glass right now, and right there is dot. Glass, dot. Just very tight, nice, feels awesome. Now let's talk about the movie scenes.
Yeah, so one thing that I really liked about this in the movie, it was a very similar callback scene to John Wick 2, which I think is probably my favorite out of the 4 films, the John Wick films at least. Whenever he goes into the sommelier and he starts talking about the different needs that he is going to need for the mission, and so the scene in Ballerina was a very, very reminiscent callback to that, which I thought was cool, since, you know, this is just a larger platform of the 5.56 rifle he was using in John Wick 2. Just an incredible, incredible platform. Eve absolutely tears through some cult members with this thing during the shootout scene, which I thought it was kind of cool to see people, you know, attacking the Continental and more fights in there, and kind of seeing some of the people and the mines kind of working behind the scenes, behind the high table. I just love the lore dumps that you get from it. It's super, super interesting, and this is just an awesome platform.
And I'd like to add this, that you should be a movie commentator.
I would love to do that, actually. I think
you're just good at it, man.
I mean,
you're very passionate about it. So, but yes, this thing was incredible in the movie. Obviously, John Wick, we had the 5.56 version of this setup, let's just say, and the Ballerina, we got this 308. You know what? I think Ballerina figured out this. You know what? 5.56 is pretty cool, but I need more
stopping power,
stopping power. The comment section's favorite phrase out there. So, with that being said, let's move over to our number 1, but honorable mention. What is that?
Honorable mention. So one thing, you know, I love the John Wick franchise. I've said it time and time again. But in every movie, no matter what it is, they always have one really, really cool set piece with like one specific gun or type of gun, for example, for a really, really cool action set piece. And in this movie, Eve is wielding a flamethrower. I don't know the exact model of flamethrower that she's using, but she absolutely tears the house down with this thing. It is so cool, the different ways that she uses it, the creativity, the fire hose scene when it's like fire versus water. Like I would honestly equate that with being just as good, if not a little better, than the top-down Dragon's Breath scene from John Wick 4.
Yeah.
Really cool. Just seeing a flamethrower being used in offensive capabilities in a movie like that, absolutely awesome.
You know what? When everybody's out there your enemy, and you don't have to worry about your targets, right? Burn them down.
I like that.
That's what I say. So,
I like that.
with that being said, let's move on to our number one. And number one is going to be obviously the gun that's on the cover of the movie Ballerina. Eve is holding the gun just like that. And it is the Terran Tactical Innovations Glock 17, but with a comp on it. I don't even want to call this the Glock 17. This is something else at this point, right? This is the Combat Master, right? Yep, there you go. It says Combat Master right there. So, I have to say this. Whatever Terran touches, it just turns into, like you said, magic, right? Just something completely different. I mean, the gun not only looks freaking amazing.
Yep.
When you grab this gun, the stippling pattern, the way it just feels, it even slims down the grip right here. You got the Timney Alpha on here. The slide cuts, and the way the slide is actually like just designed, right? And we've got the comp over here that just keeps the front side on an island. The barrel.
Awesome gun. What else can you really want?
Seriously, there you go. Check this thing out. It's incredible. I just love this thing. I love what that man does every time he just touches a gun. I just love it. Anyways, the Glock 17 with a comp. This is the Ballerina main gun, I would say.
Yes.
With that being said, have at it.
So, like Kaya literally just said, it is the Ballerina main gun. In every John Wick movie or offshoot of the movie, there's kind of like a main featured pistol. In John Wick 4, it was the Pit Viper, and in Ballerina, we have this absolute beauty of a Glock 17, which it reminds me a lot of Kaya's Glock 34 Combat Master because
my 40th birthday.
Yeah, the 40th birthday gift. Yeah, in case you didn't know. With the kind of the I don't know, the shovel cut. I don't know if that's the correct term, but yeah, it's similar to
like
that. So it really reminds me of the 34, and just so flat shooting. It's got an awesome like slide top cut here with everything on here. Eve pretty much gets this thing toward the tail end of the movie whenever she's running through the cultist main base. This is her main pistol that she's doing work with, and probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie besides the flamethrower whenever she is putting in work with this thing, because it's just fun seeing something this freaking cool in action and putting in so much work.
Yeah. Dude, you guys should see actually Terran Butler's Terran Tactical Innovations Instagram page now. He's shooting, I think this gun was just something very similar to this with some blanks.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that. He just fired and you just see the fireballs just coming out. Just looks so freaking sick. And if you shoot blanks, there'll be a lot of fireballs coming out of the gun. But overall, Glock 17 with a comp, Terran Tactical Innovations Combat Master from Ballerina. This is our number one pick. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you guys agree with our list? If not, let us know what is your top 5 Ballerina guns, Ballerina movie guns. And also, again, check out the movie Accountant 2 guns, well, the guns used in the movie Accountant 2 video that we just did. There is a rifle on there that I guarantee you guys are gonna all drool. I know he loves it. Big time. So cool. It is. So, John, thanks a lot for your help, man.
Dude,
appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. I'm sure folks are gonna appreciate your input. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What else should we feature from Terran Tactical Innovations on CF Contest?
That's a good question.
Not this.
Maybe not. Maybe the 308, maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe that.